My name is Sue Ann Pittman. I attend Irving Baptist Fellowship. My husband's the pastor, so I probably do more than attend. This is going to be children's crafts for the Lifeway Destination Dig. Now, Destination Dig, I've been working on this in my brain for a year because I worked with preschoolers for about 40 years. Some of you will appreciate this. I have a grandson who is 3, and his dad asked him, "Who's the smartest 3-year-old you know?" And he goes, "Me." He goes, "Well, okay, who's the second smartest 3-year-old you know?" And he says, "Mama Sue." And so 40 years, I'm the second smartest 3-year-old. All right, I want to get started with some things, some tips, maybe to do around your table, your craft table. Some of you have round tables, some have 6-foot tables, whichever size you have. This is something I suggest to keep organized. This is the lid off of a paper box. I've covered it, but as you can tell, it's been through several Bible schools. I set this in the middle of a round table, no chairs. Chairs are good for them to trip on or bang up against or hit somebody, so they're all standing and not sitting. Then you don't have the chairs to bang and get in the way of others. So that's the first thing I do. I put things that I'm going to need today. For instance, this is just a regular can. You can cover it. You can leave it blank. This one has markers in it. You can put pencils in it. Whatever you're going to be using for this project today is what you put. You can put them all in here. Now, I would put 6 to 8 at a 6-foot table, 3 on either side, 1 at each end, or 6 or 7 around a round table. So you wouldn't necessarily have to have 6 of these, but if you had 4 of them that they could share, if you were using markers. If you're using glue and those kind of things, this is a little thing that just sits, Dollar Tree, for $1, of course. And if you wanted to keep these from year to year, you would just buy the glue, of course, every year right before school starts. You buy your markers before school starts. So save some of your VBS budget for August when you can do those back to school sales. This is another thing that I have done is put crayons in this. It has a lid on it, and this would sit down in here, and then when they come in, they would get one of those. At each place, I have a large sack like this. Sometimes we have a piece of paper on it. They can write their name on it. This is going home with them. It's going to be set over here beside my lady who helps me. His name is Debbie. She takes this sack, and then every day when they come to VBS crafts, this is sitting on the table in front of them. First thing they're to do is to write their name on this. When they get through with their craft, it goes in this, and Miss Debbie matches this up with this. That's every day. So that way when they go home, these are taken to the worship center or wherever they're going to leave from. They've got their name on them and they're issued to them. The other thing that we do that seems to work well is we have name tags. So when they get their bag, you take their name tag and it is left on the seat in the sanctuary or wherever they're leaving from. Another tip that I've found through the years is these little cheapy paper plates. There's small ones and large ones. The small ones are hard to find, but if you're going to be doing any painting or gluing or something that's going to be messy, it can go on here. These, you can buy 100 of these for less than $2, so they're real inexpensive. So that the mess is on here and not on the tablecloth or the newspaper or whatever you're covering with. So that's just kind of some fast little tips that I do prior to having the kids start their crafts. Okay, day 1 of Vacation Bible School Destination Dig is really called Celebrate Jesus. Now, what would you think we would do to celebrate Jesus? Of course, we would make a field journal. I have made some samples of similar to what it says in the book and some suggestions what it says. Like these have gotten a little bit warm, but let's see. This one right here is really close to what it says to do in the book. It is a field journal, and of course they can take notes. One of the notes in the craft book said the child really liked this because he could write sermon notes in there. Well, that's a little kid that goes to church all the time. We have lots of little kids that don't know what a sermon is, so good for them. I like to use VBS stickers. And this is the logo stickers, and there's like 10 pages of these, so there's probably over 100 in there for like $4 or $5. It's not, but I like to put a sticker on there every day that we do a craft, because when they see that sticker, they're going to remember that. That's the same logo that's on our shirts, on all our books, anything that Lifeway has printed. So this is something that was like it said in the book. However, I've worked with preschoolers and younger children, and I think the elastic would be much easier, because children don't always know how to tie nice and neat in a little bitty strap. These notebooks are from Dollar Tree. They're 3 for $1. You poke a hole in it with a hole punch. So in the back, and then that's tied in there and goes around. The cord is from Hobby Lobby, and you can get all kinds of cord, but this is wrapped. It's kind of leather looking. This is the elastic one, which came from Hobby Lobby, and that's black. They only have black or white. But this is a rolled cord, so it's kind of leather looking. On the outside of this is scrapbook paper that's leather look. Another example that I made, that I just pulled the sticker off of, this is with the larger book. These are $1 at Dollar Tree as well. And this has stick-on gemstones that I got at Dollar Tree. Dollar Tree has some, Hobby Lobby. So that's the field journal. And so when they go out in the field, and I happened to have a chance to go this summer, right after Destination Dig was introduced, and it was archaeological dig in the area I was in. And so they were digging, and I just, my daughter had to go by there, and I was just like looking and checking. So that's why I have these little boxes to put everything in. What they had was like this, only it was hard plastic. You could stack them, so I'm like, these look really almost authentic. But what they would do would be go out and dig all day and come back, and they put what they had found in one of these boxes. They might find a little bitty piece or a big piece. They had found a big piece the day I was there, and that was just very fascinating to them. So they bring them in, clean them up, label them, and I have some labels I'll show you a little bit later. They label them where they found it, what day it was, what time of the day, and all that. So it's kind of very authentic there for me to see all that. I had no idea that I was going to be able to use it this well. The other craft for this Monday, celebrate Jesus, which is the birth of Jesus, basically. He came in all his power. These are called pinch pots. Now this is a little more fancy, but this is a realistic one that you might see in a museum or something that's been either reproduced or that they found and put together. I was in a museum. I'm not a museum buff. I'm not a history buff, but I've had my share this year, and it's helped me. We saw a pot that was about this tall, from the table about this tall, similar shaped, but it was, I couldn't reach around it. And they had found all of the pieces and put it back together. It was really cool. It was really cool. This is Model Magic. It's what the medium we used. This was the terracotta color, authentic color. So it comes in gray, I think, and it comes in a white. You can paint it, whatever. Again, these are those stick-on gemstones. You have to let it dry for 24 hours. This would not work at the VBS that I do, because we send everything home today. If they do it, we send it home, and these would get squished because they're just real soft clay. We send it home because they may not be back tomorrow. And this is the jewel of the day. This is an ornament, basically a Christmas tree ornament, but it's a scroll, obviously. This is one of the kits that Lifeway offers. Sometimes the kits are much easier than trying to gather all the stuff, and much cheaper. Of course, this is just a little piece of paper crumpled up like a scroll would be, a dowel rod, and beads. Someone has suggested that the little push pins could be put on the edges of this instead of the beads, and it would be more authentic. You could write the truth of the day, anything you wanted to. But here's my deal. I would not put a sticker on the front of this, but I would turn it over and put a sticker on the back of it. Even if they put it on the Christmas tree, or even if they hang it in their room. If they see that logo, they're going to remember. So that's the crafts for the first day. So we will go on to the second day and see what we can do. The second day is Jesus uses his power to heal people. Now the story they're using this time, and all of the stories this time, are digging into the word for God's truth. So that's a much better than telling them the little Bible stories we usually hear. These are digging a little deeper than most of them. So he healed the blind man. So this is a kit, and I don't remember how much these kits were. They're usually about less than $1 a piece. But this comes with the stickers. It comes with the little hook thing, and I don't remember what they're called. But this will hook to like your belt, your bag, your backpack, and carry your sunglasses in it, because we normally do Vacation Bible School in the summer. Not everyone does, but sometimes we do. And I didn't put the water in this, but this is going to be, let me think, mystery Play-Doh. The one you do in preschool is called Play-Doh Surprise. Exact same thing. And I think either age is going to like this. As a grandmother, I'm not real wild about Play-Doh because of the mess it makes. But, you know, if you put stuff down on the floor and let them do it 2 or 3 times, that'll be great. The mystery in this is it has the old-time Kool-Aid that you poured 3 cups of sugar in to make really good, but it's unsweetened Kool-Aid. So you put the powder in here, and the recipe makes enough for 3. So you make red ones, you make blue raspberry ones, you make different colors, and they don't know what color they have till you put the water in it. It says warm water. I'm not real sure how much warm water I can get. If I had 2 kids, it wouldn't be that big a deal, but if I have a large group, it would be hard. I have not tried it with room temperature water, but it might work. So again, test these things. I've tried to get as many questions in my brain answered as you might have. So maybe you might want to try these before. Just because I've tried them doesn't mean anything really. This is a pendant. Now, it's supposed to represent a, not a koan, but a pendant, I guess is the right word. What happens is there is a circle cut out of cardboard. You put glue down and you put the yarn in the glue. You let it dry for a few minutes. Now, the next thing is you put the foil on there. And you put glue sticks to glue the foil on there. And you let it set for a few minutes. And then you turn it over and you put glue on that and you let it set for a few minutes. When I do Bible school, I've got 20 minutes. They hit that door till they got to be out of there. It's 20 minutes. I like this craft. But my suggestion would maybe we could try it with doing pipe cleaners that are stiff, and you could even put tape on those and then put the foil over it. And then it's gone over with a brown Sharpie. Now, it says permanent marker. That means Sharpie to me. Anything that's not a Crayola washable marker is a Sharpie to me. So I think this would be good. The thing that I discovered is on the back, because you've put glue stick on there, it kind of sticks. So I've taken packing tape and put over the back of that. Again, I would take one of these stickers and put on there, because every time they see it, they'll think Bible school, and that's what we want them to. And they'll say, oh, that was the day the blind man, and that's what I want. I don't want them to say, oh yeah, that's cool, and throw it in the trash. If I've gone to the trouble to get it together, I want them to keep it. I want them to know what it is and to experience it. So that is day 2. Moving right along, we're on day 3. This is hump day for some people, and you know, you get to Wednesday, and it's like downhill from here. This is a water bottle kit. I emphasize kit. This kit will have to be experimented with. I have a lady who takes the kits. I get 2 sets of kits. I make a set, or somebody who's very experienced makes a set. And then this lady who has no artistic ability, she has no clue, she can read and do. And this is what she read and did. Her kit had a 42-inch cord, I believe they called it a cord, and a 36-inch cord. Okay, well, the one I had didn't have the 36-inch cord. I wasn't smart enough to read and see what it includes, all the pieces that it includes. So I got mine, I went around it, got it all done, and I have this short little handle like this. It'll still work, but she was smart enough to read it. This is something I think that kids would really like, they would really use. A water bottle is something they're going to use, whether they're digging in the dirt or whether they're doing whatever. Another experience I had, and I know I'm giving you a lot of experience, but for spring break, we went to Murfreesboro, Arkansas, to the diamond mine. It's the only public diamond mine where you can go in, you pay $10, you take your buckets, your shovels, and you are able to dig for diamonds. My family used to go there growing up, and we never got to do it. So we took our grandson and oldest daughter, and we went to Murfreesboro and dug for diamonds. We found some rocks. We took them up there, and they said these were jasper. And I said, okay, one of the layers is jasper in Revelation, so I can identify with that. So we came home with jasper rocks. We were happy. We don't know any better. Probably wouldn't know a diamond if I'd have seen it, because it looks like a little rock in the rough. So anyway, I'm going to tell you some more about that in just a little bit. Let's see, these are cuffs. These are not a kit. This is what, let me show you what the book calls for. This is kind of what the book calls for, except that I put wagon wheel pasta on it. We glued it on there. It has to dry a day. Then you paint it. Again, I couldn't do this at the one I help with because we sent it all home. However, these are out of the paper, poster board that's metallic. They go around the child's wrist, and I measured that around a child's wrist, a young child's wrist, I might add. And then we glued these stones on it. I know boys aren't into that, but if they think they were a cool thing wearing these bracelets, they might do that. You can buy stick-on ones that are a little more expensive, but there is a place in Oklahoma City by the name of Porch School Supply. And you can look that up on Google and find Porch School Supply. It is a husband and his wife, and their son and his wife. So it's a family thing. I think it's the third generation for them, but they're very family oriented. She was a school teacher. They're very church people. They understand when we ask for stuff. You can buy a large bag of stones. It used to be $10. It's probably $12 to $15 now, and it's about twice the size of the one you get at Hobby Lobby for $12. Just FYI. Velcro is how you it's the closure. And those dots, I bought these at the Dollar Tree. And I think there's 4 sets, probably 8 to 10 sets. So or you could buy bulk. I'm sure you can get it on Amazon if you're going to make thousands of them. Okay. This is a game. You know, we have a game almost every time. This is a game. My husband was so nice and read the directions how to do this. Notice the string is way too long. I didn't cut it for a specific reason. I'm going to show you. In our book, it gives you a game board that you're to draw on this. Let me take you have 8 stones of 2 different colors, and you're playing a game. You get one color, you get one color, and you play a game. The game board is on here. Let's see if I can get it open. This is just a piece of felt cut in a circle, but you can see that game board. Now, my husband's pretty good at seeing it, and he can move it from the paper to here. He was very upset with himself because it wasn't straight in the middle. But children are not going to be bothered by that like adults are. So let them do that. This would be a very inexpensive craft to do. However, it's got to have a jig and holes poked around the outside of it. So it gives you how much of this to do, but you can see it's way too long. This is the instructions on how to play the game. So that's day 3. We've only got 2 more days in this Bible school left. And we're getting real comfortable with everybody because they get the plan of salvation on Wednesday. And they will understand a little bit more about all of these things we're talking about. This is the crazy day to me. This is a cross. It's the day they put Jesus on the cross, and they tell that whole full story. This is a bookmark. This is a kit. It comes with all the stickers, and the bookmark is, the page goes up in here. Let's see, here's a page. Page goes up in here, and this goes around the page like that. And it's a bookmark, so your bookmark doesn't have to stick out like the traditional ones. But this would be very easy to make not using a kit. If you have your little old ladies in your Sunday school classes that could sit, they would get together, maybe during the pandemic they might even get together, and cut these out. It is just one piece cut out, and then the kids could be able to put the little magnets on it, and you could put whatever stickers on it. Very useful. I think they would use this. Again, on the back, I would put a logo sticker. Even if they put it in their Bible, they'll say, oh, that's when Miss Pat told us that story about Jesus on the cross. Speaking of Miss Pat, I normally, when I do the crafts, they come in, and Johnny will be the first one. He's like rummaging through all my stuff, and it takes them all, to get in there. And I'm like, oh, Miss Pat told y'all a story. Was that story about John? Who was she talking about today? I heard her talking about a lady at the bottom of the cross. Well, then, the little smart girls that have paid attention know all the story. And the boys do too. They just won't step up and do it. Just a little side note there. This is a maze. And the reason I'm hesitant to show it to you is I used a Sharpie to draw the start and the grave. I guess you could, now you need to go up to the grave. This is a marble game, and you get a marble and you're going to make lines for this marble to follow, and you only make one line that goes from this corner to this corner, and it's a maze, and you put extra straws. However, you put glue on there, you cut the straws, you got to line them up just so, and you've got to have them far enough apart that the marble will roll through them. So your little brainy children, the boys will love this. The girls are like, oh, this is too much trouble. It says unused meat trays. This size came from the Dollar Tree. You could go to your own grocer and ask Kroger Butcher, say, I need 12 of those for my 4-year-olds to make this. I would not do it with 4-year-olds, but 4th graders to make this. So it's that kind of donated items. Years ago, I would have said, oh, just get Grandma. She's washed them all, but we can take those. But this day and time, we're kind of a little leery of that. This is one of the craziest things I've ever seen. This is sand with clear glue in it. And it makes a rock. But I've hidden something in this rock because when we made these, I put a jewel in this. So there is a toolkit, and I didn't pull it out. There's a toolkit that Lifeway has, which is some little wooden mallet, a wooden pick, and a brush to brush it off with. But, there's nothing like a good old hammer. And this is my little small hammer I've had for quite a few years. It's great to nail nails into a stump that I have in my room. But they can bust it open and find the jewel in it. Now, another thing we went on vacation and did, we went to an Indian reservation. We saw the artifacts of the Indians and went down, saw the bones they had reconstructed, and that was very fascinating. But we bought a bucket of sand that had stones and jewels in it. And they guaranteed there would be a diamond in it. Okay, and it's going to be in this little thing, a little bit bigger than this. Okay, well, all of us, 3 adults and a little boy, played in the sand, and they had this little stream you put your basket in and you could wash all your stones off. And there was some arrowheads, there's all kinds of little things, but they had polished rocks in it. And my husband and daughter went in and took the diamond in, and they didn't come back overly enthused, so I assumed our diamond wasn't very big. But anyway, that would be something you could do with the kids, even in crafts. One more day. Okay, this is Friday. How many of you do all 5 days? See, the one I work with, they do Monday's story on Sunday, and then we just do four days of the week. There's some really cute things. This is a spinning wheel, and I had my granddaughter color it. Now, each one of these are part of the story they've heard previously or today. So Miss Pat can say, what did we talk about the cross? What did the water mean? This right here will have it. And again, I would give them 3 or 4 of these stickers, because it's Friday, we're done with these stickers, so let them use the stickers to decorate this, and they might tell their friend, their next door neighbor that didn't get to go, the story. But it's a little wheel, and I think that's something that kids are really going to like. This is a picture frame. Lifeway's famous for having a picture frame every year, and this is broken pottery, or I would like to say it was mosaic pieces, and these are stickers. This is all in the craft kit. A suggestion that I read, I'm not sure it was in Lifeway, but is to go to the thrift store and buy some dishes, put them in a pillowcase, and get a hammer and beat the full out of them, and you'll have realistic pieces. And that would be more realistic if you're into more realistic. So that is the 2 things. And then this is the cutest thing ever. This is a chariot. It is a kit, and I would not try to duplicate it. But it stands up, I hope. It stands up. They can tell this story about the chariot because that's the last story they tell. They can put stuff in it, and it would be on their dresser or in their room where they could see that. Now, I didn't put a sticker, but you could put stickers on here if you wanted to. That's just cardboard. It has a dowel rod that goes through it, a bead that holds the wheel on, and it just is so cute for so simple. Okay, that is day 5. I'm going to tell you some extra little things you can do, and I'm going to show you what it kind of looks like before we did it. These are bottles, and you might recognize some of these bottles, but to make them old looking, we've colored them with crayons. And these, you know how crayons are when they're old, so, you know, they were little pieces, so they smell like crayons. This is wrapped with just plain old masking tape. Wrapped and wrapped and wrapped and overlapped where you don't want any holes, and then rubbed with crayon. You can also do it with tempera paint, brown tempera paint, and just kind of rub it on there and wipe some of it off and let it dry. I've seen it done where you crumple up probably copy paper and you put it on there, and it gives a little cracked, crumpled look as you go. This is a bowl. This is just a paper bowl, and this is kind of what these looked like prior to rubbing over them. So they give a little authenticness, and that's good for decoration, or the kids may want to do it. You probably all know what these are, takeout things. I wish I had the piece of pie that came in this, but this is similar to what I saw authentically. They would have one little piece of something in there, and they would have all these labels on it to tell what kind of pottery it was, how old they thought it was, where they found it, all those things. But this would be something you would just have around in the room, or a game to play and see if they could match 2 of these that look similar. So again, that's your thrift store saucers. Go and pick those up. I did not do that, but I used to buy all kinds of stuff like that, and you know, whatever you need, the thrift store's got, you can make it do. That's the water bottle. This is Dollar Tree finds. Now, who doesn't like a good Dollar Tree? Even this came from Dollar Tree. And see, this is real authentic. It's been digging in the dirt. This one, this particular one, dug for diamonds, but it only found jasper rocks. I bought these at the Dollar Tree. There's a dark brown and a light brown. Now, one of the things I was thinking about doing would be to put a fly down the front and let them either glue buttons on it or draw buttons on it and maybe put a pocket on it and kind of let them draw the Destination Dig logo on it. We can get that in black and white from Lifeway. It doesn't cost anything. You can download it. So they could each have that and kind of put it on there. This would be a great thing for $1 for them to have to show they'd been to Bible school and to show some things. Okay, this is just a book that was found. I got to get it right side up. This was a book that I found at Dollar Tree. Not that we're going to sit and read it, but when we do crafts, sometimes it takes 17 minutes. Well, I've got 3 minutes, and if you don't have something for them to do, they make something to do. So we might go over and start reading this book on Monday and maybe read it Wednesday or Thursday or when you have a little time. There's those little... This is the toolkit that Lifeway has. That's the mallet to beat up those rocks. That's the little pick you could beat on the mallet. And then there's a brush. Now that's a little kit. There's the little brush. So this is a 3-piece kit, and I don't remember the price of it. But if you could invest in this, you could send this home with the kids. But to me, it's just something to send home with the kids. It doesn't necessarily mean they're going to do anything, because any rock they find, they're not going to be able to use this, because it would be too hard. This is a little bag they've come up with, and you get a token for each day that has the Bible story and the truth on it. These are recommended for preschool as well as the children's. So those are kind of 2 fun things you can buy from Lifeway. That is just obviously a kid's shovel. Wow. These are little crystals. I used to have these things called magic rocks. I don't know if they even make them anymore, but this seems similar. You put the packet of crystals in the bowl, and you add water and some other little things, and they crystallize and make crystals on the rock itself. If you were having some kind of contest, the one that bought the most kids, or the one that was the quietest, this would be a good reward for $1. I think that would be something good. Okay, these are all things that I thought you could use that came from the Dollar Tree. This is something like if you had different color little polished rocks, you could buy those at Dollar Tree. Those little rocks I had earlier. You can buy them at Dollar Tree and put different colors and, pass them around and let the kids look at them. This would be something you could put something in, maybe that they've never seen. Nature, pretty much anything archaeological could be considered nature. This is a little box, and it's a magnet. And again, I would put things in here like rocks, colored rocks, that kind of thing. But it's magnet, so it would stick to the side of the refrigerator, not necessarily the front. And this is little monies. Now, something we're going to do on Friday is we're going to have sand brought in, and we're going to put things like this and jewels in the sand for them to dig for. We'll have some of these kind of diggers, some big digs like this for them to dig. We'll have this and jewels and whatever else we can come up with. I talked about, let's see, that's not going to be them. Labels that we could put on the front of these if we had something large in here, even if you get the saucers or whatever, don't beat them all to a pulp. Leave a big chunk in one, label it what kind it was, and maybe have another chunk in another place, and they can kind of see that went with that, and those will go together. But this is similar to the labels I saw. Okay, I have I think we saw that. This was something else I saw when I was in the lab. They had these, they were much bigger than this, but again, it's just to put their stuff in where they would have. So it's just like an extra little added thing. Okay, I think that wraps up Vacation Bible School Children's Crafts. Good luck, and it will be a great time. Very inexpensive crafts this year. Even the kits are pretty inexpensive for what they are. So have a great VBS, and we'll talk to you later.